my wife had a child, right? So I had to ask myself, are you ready
Sure.
to go into a relationship where the dynamic is, there is a child,
Yeah.
and one day you may need to be a father to this child. When I got married, I was like in my 30s. Yeah. When I took my wife to meet my parents, I think I was like 33, 32, 33.
Okay.
So they'd been waiting. And I think a lot of people, make the mistake of thinking that marriage will fix a lot of things and a lot of issues that they're experiencing while they're still, dating or courting, whatever you want to say.
What are the benefits? Why should somebody get a prenup and not
Sure.
community or property? Or what are the pros and cons on either side?
Maybe let me talk from the perspective of my wife and I, and why we signed an antenuptial contract.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to That Husband Podcast with me, Black Newborn. Here we are husbands who aren't where we want to be, but certainly are not where we used to be. We are imperfect, always failing forward, trying to know better so that we can do better.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to That Husband Podcast with me, Black Newborn. This is where husbands try to know better so that we can do better. Before we jump into this episode, we want to thank everybody who's been supporting us. If you're wondering what that's about, there's two ways you can support us. Number one, you can buy us coffee. There's a link in our comment section that you can click on. Buy us as many coffees as your heart desires. Number two, you can support us by booking me as a speaker and MC for your next event, and that's at booking@blacknewborn.com. That's booking@blacknewborn.com. The husband that's sitting across the table from me today is Sbu. Or Sbu. Mr. Dube.
I think Sbu's just fine, thanks.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're here, dog.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I think I was very surprised to be invited, if I'm being honest. But yeah, here I am.
Now, man, you love your wife publicly, and you have, between the two of you, I'm trying to think, 4 accounts on Instagram. Forget the businesses, because you have yours, she has hers.
Yes.
You guys have the Dubes.
We have the family one. Yeah.
Okay, so 3.
Yeah.
So 3.
And don't forget, Pella, over 150,000 followers.
Come on now.
Come on.
It has to be said.
Yeah, about 140,000 of those are my wife's. But anyway.
Listen, somebody has to be the rose in all of this. That's cool, man. Now, still, bro. So I've been, just stalking you.
Okay.
Following your journey.
Not weird at all.
No. Listen, I'm in the business of trying to celebrate husbands.
Okay.
So if I see husbands who are out there loving their wives, especially in the culture that we live in, where, if you live the way you live, guys will call you a simp. Look, you soft. Why are you publicly loving your wife? Blah, blah, blah. You need to be hard.
Poster.
Yeah. So then I'm like, nah, that's the kind of stuff that moves us here. And that's why I even got into this work. So that's why you're sitting there, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. If I'd known, like, poster, but
continue.
No, I'll do that.
Yeah,
man.
No, still, bro. So we just before we get going with our chat, there's a book behind me that we're compiling to try and make it a free resource to give it to young guys. And give it to husbands who are walking alone, who don't have the benefit of brotherhood. They're not in a community with other husbands. In fact, we're the only community that they have. And so we're trying to get that book to them. And we want to ask our guests to help us fill that book.
Okay.
I don't want to write it on my own. And we're asking our guests to define what a husband is.
Sure.
So with all your over 100,000 followers and 3 accounts,
I take it back,
and posting your wife all the time, you're the expert to define what a husband is.
That is such a tough question.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. A definition for what a husband is.
Yeah.
I think a husband is someone who, first of all, loves his wife, as Christ loves the church. I have to go to that because I think that is the foundation of what a husband is. And you then have to look at, how does Christ love the church? How does Christ love me? And for me, that means being patient, right? Because I know that I'm not a perfect person. There's a lot of things I do wrong. There's a lot of things I do ask for forgiveness and I do it again, right? And each and every single time, Jesus Christ forgives me. It means loving selflessly, loving just because, right? So Christ loves us just because, right? And that's what a husband is required to do. That's what a husband does. He is Jehovah Jireh, the God, our provider. That's what a husband is called to do. So for me, what is a husband? We have to look at who is Christ. And because as a husband, we are called to try and imitate Christ to our wives in the way that we love them.
Yeah, man. That's dope, bro. I did a sermon a while back, John 3:16, and I titled it The Greatest Proposal.
Yeah.
Because that's what we see in that one verse,
Yeah.
God essentially on bended knee, proposing to us, not with a diamond ring, but with the cross,
son,
with the son. And in fact, that kind of motif is also carried out. It's from the Old Testament, So Exodus 20, when God has rescued the Israelites and He gives them the law.
Yeah.
The 10 Commandments are essentially God saying, "This I've rescued you. You belong to me. This is how we're gonna carry out this marriage."
Yeah.
And so we see God using marriage as a very critical metaphor of how he loves us. And so it really puts the role of the husband in a very unique space compared to other roles. And puts weight as well.
A lot of weight
to it, so that's dope, man. And I can't find another husband that's perfect as Jesus, to emulate and to set your own husbandhood standard after, so that's super dope, bro.
Thanks, man. I hope I passed.
when the book is ready, just go look for your name. If it's not there, then so that's cool, bro. Your parents are still together?
My parents are still together. They've been together for, I think, 43 years.
No way,
I have to look at how old I am and then add a number of so they've been together for 43 years.
43, bro.
Yeah, that's
man. That's crazy.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Any gems you've gotten from your dad on how to be a husband?
I think the one thing that I've taken from my dad is just how he sacrifices for us, his family. The way he provides, that is the one thing that I've taken from my dad. And I think I'm seeing bits of it in me now when it comes to my family. He just had this drive that no matter what, I'm going to put my family first. I'm going to do what it takes to make sure that these people are taken care of, no matter what it costs me. My dad would never buy himself anything.
No way, bro.
Sheesh. He would not buy himself anything. And I found, I do buy myself stuff, but sometimes my wife needs to push me. So I think things like that are like, coming from my dad. Because when I get money, my first thought is always my family. It's always, what do we need in the house? And what does this one need? What can I get, for my wife? What can I get for my daughter? What can I get for my son? So that's always the first thought, right? And then I get sneakers. But first, do
you have a closet?
I don't think so.
But the
my
closet
wife
is being built right now.
I feel like I'm still a long way, but there's a few pairs.
We might have two different definitions of what pairs are.
There's a few pairs. No, you know what? The thing is, I'll never forget this. I went to there was a guy I used to manage in one of my side hustles, and I went to his apartment one day. Listen, the brother had like one of these huge boxes that I'd never seen before. I think there was about 100 pairs of sneakers in there.
That's crazy, bro.
So ever since I saw that box, whenever I look at my sneakers, I'm like, I'm not like I'm trying, but I'm
so you probably at like 80.
No, I wouldn't say 80.
85.
I don't know, but it's not 85.
Listen, if you don't know.
It's not 85. I mean, who sits and counts their sneakers?
Come on.
It's like asking a lady, how many heels do you have?
Come
like,
on.
Nobody can tell you how many like heels they have. It just is what it is.
No, I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
I hear you. When I grow up, that's all I'm gonna say. When I grow up. That's cool, man.
But I'll have a collection one day. When I have a collection, I'll post it. When I feel like, you know what, now I've arrived. I can call myself someone with a sneaker collection and a sneakerhead. Yeah, I'll post. Man. Yeah.
Looking at your dad's pictures, I might be wrong. I don't know him. It's just from pictures. He seems like very like he's very stoic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's the dad who will say two things, but those two things will come with like a lot of gravity.
Yeah.
Is he that kind of guy?
He is that kind of guy. My dad is the strictest guy I know.
Sure.
You know,
I saw that thing through the pictures.
Yeah, no, and he has the face, right? Sure. So we grew up under that. Like when my dad says something, that's the end, and you just do it.
Sure.
There were a lot of things he didn't even need to say because we were so worried about what might happen.
Sure.
You know, if we go into that territory. So yeah, he's very set in his ways. Yeah. And you know, whatever he says goes. Sure. So yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's dope, but I think to just even, you know, for me, personal journey, hearing stories of couples who are Black, been married longer than 40 years, like I hang on to those things.
Yeah.
Because the older we're getting, and obviously the previous generation is going out, the less stories we hear.
Yeah.
In the Black community of couples who stay married that long.
Yeah.
You know, and so I try and take a chance to celebrate those stories every time they're there. So this is me saying, man, shout outs to your parents. Shout outs to them for, you know, being there and whatever example that they've given you. That's it's such a dope thing.
I think we are so blessed. You know, having grown up in that environment where, you know, your parents are together for so long. I think it's shaped our outlook as well, just when it comes to family, what family looks like, and what we aspire to achieving in our own personal lives. So yeah, it's been quite a blessing, and obviously it hasn't always been easy for them. You know, I think the way our parents did marriage and the way we do marriage now, you know, some of the things I'm like, I don't think that would have worked nowadays. Totally. But they still standing. They still look like we forced them to like take photos because they both don't like taking photos. But then like you'll see like, you know, they still look cute and you know, they have their own, like they can chat for days. Like, you know, they just chat and chat. And I think that's one of the things that I really like about them. And they can stay up late chatting and like abalali. So that's very sweet, you know, to see that even at this stage.
That's cool, man.
Been blessed. Yeah.
And your wife's parents, they've been married for how long?
Similarly. So they've been married, you see, now you're putting me on the spot.
Listen, they owe me an episode. So if you get this wrong, it's okay.
I'm gonna say no. You know what? X is somewhere between. X is greater than 35, but smaller than 45.
Easy.
Yeah. So no. So I'm not sure if it's been 40 years. It's been around. It's around 39, 40 years, somewhere around there. So they've also been married for quite a long time. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Want to celebrate more of those things, brother. I might be wrong, but you're the only son? Or
to my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not the only son.
Okay.
So my dad had kids before him and my mom got married.
Okay.
So I've got other siblings who are not my dad and who are not from my dad and my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have an older brother, actually, and I had another older brother, but he passed away.
Okay, sorry,
so to my dad, I'm the third son. And then to my mom, I'm her one and only son. And we have that one and only son relationship.
Sure.
And I can just hear my sisters now saying, "Oh, mfanami," because that's what my mom calls me.
Are you the last born?
No, I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm in the middle.
And I bring that up to ask if there was any pressure for you to get married as the only son between your mom and dad.
There was a lot of pressure.
Sheesh.
There was a lot of pressure, but I think at some stage, my mom would kind of step in.
Sure.
So my mom is cool like that. She'd be like, man. She'd be like, take your time, my boy. Like, there's no rush. Take your time.
Sure.
But the day she met my now wife, Shem, I can see that she was just being nice. But because like I could just, it was like she was so relieved that like, okay, like this thing is gonna happen. Like my son is actually gonna get married. I know I've been telling him to take his time, but he's taking a bit too much time now. So she was quite excited. And I mean, I think my wife is awesome. Like I think the minute you meet her, you spend 5 minutes with her, you already just get what a genuine, sincere, kind-hearted, warm person she is. And she's gorgeous. So like when you put in the gorgeousness and just this kind-hearted, warm person, she didn't really have to do too much for my mom to really warm up to her. I think just because she's such a gem, my mom just really warmed up to her immediately. My aunts were there as well when I took my wife to meet my parents. They surprised me. So it's like literally my dad's sisters.
Okay, so direct aunts. Okay,
aunts. So my dad's sisters were there. Okay. I was like, oh guys, I did not know that this is like a whole thing now. So but they were excited. But I think it just shows how they'd all been waiting. They'd been waiting. So I think there's always that kind of pressure. My dad, certainly, there'd always be those questions. My mom, not so much. My sisters are cool. They were fine. They were chilled. But I think everyone was very happy.
That's cool,
when it finally happened. Because when I got married, I was like, in my 30s. So I mean, when I took my wife to meet my parents, I think I was like 33. Okay. So they'd been waiting.
So two things. One, any of your sisters married? And then why did you wait till your 30s to get married?
No, my sisters are not married. My older sister was married. And then my younger sister, who is, can I reveal her age? Shame. Let me not reveal her age. But we're waiting for her. Like we're waiting. In fact, both my younger sisters, we like, guys.
So the pressure's on them now.
The pressure's on them now.
Are they above 21 though?
They're above 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nchacha. We listen and we charge here.
So no, Shem, we are waiting. I'm ready. Like I'm ready to go and sit and have those
negotiate.
Chats. Uguti, nitini. Ready for people to tell us and so I've been waiting, guys. Please,
you need to flex.
Why did I wait?
Sure.
That's an easy question. To be honest, I just hadn't found the right person for me.
Sure.
I had dated here and there. I'd gone years being single, like I'd gone for years being single. I was comfortable being single. I was comfortable just sorting out my career.
Sure.
I was content, but I always wanted a family. But the one thing I was not willing to settle. So I wasn't going to allow the pressure of age and the pressure of people's expectations to let me settle or, go into the wrong kind of relationship, and ultimately marry the wrong person. So there were a few things which were very important for me, with the person that I would marry. And I always joked to my friends, and I said, one, you have to be God-fearing, right? That's no doubt, like standard, and then two, and then I'd always say, and then so one, you God-fearing, and then to get you in the room to get a conversation, then you have to be beautiful as well. So I was like, if you're God-fearing and you're beautiful, then we can have a conversation. Like, and then I still need to understand.
You get out of the waiting line if you have those two things.
Like, so I think maybe that's why it took so long, because somehow it was either we are God-fearing or we are beautiful and not God-fearing. So like the combination, obviously according to your how standard. I see it, right? According to my standard. And so I think I just really wanted to wait for the right kind of person, someone who I felt really compliments me well. I really wanted someone who had a good heart. I think that's the one thing that was really key for me. Like you had to be, I remember I once went on, and my wife is okay with me talking about these kind of things. So I remember I once went on a date. A lot of people would try and set me up with people that they know. Like my friends had been trying to set me up. So I remember I went on this date that one of my friends had organized for me. And I remember the lady that I was on a date with, she said something I felt was unkind to the waiter.
Wow. Yeah.
And I was done. Like I was done. Like I was, and I know people may judge me. They're like, oh, you wrote her off just for that.
No,
but I was like, for me, that showed me a lot, right? So I think that's why it's taken so long. But another thing as well, I think when I was very involved in church ministry, and I think when you're very involved in church ministry, that can take up a lot of your time. It's extremely demanding, right? So what happens is you find yourself in the same circles all the time. So we serve with these people. When we're not serving, we hang out together, right? Like those are your people, that's your life. And so unless there's going to be someone in that circle that you're going to click with at that level of actually wanting to pursue something with them, then chances are, if you're just going to stay in that circle and you're not going to expose yourself to other people, then, it's going to take much longer for you to actually get into a place where you're getting into a relationship where you can, pursue marriage. And so I was one of those people who I was serving and I was in that same circle and not really exposed to other people outside that circle. And I mean, those are my sisters, like they were my sisters.
Hey, little did they know. They were probably looking at a future husband.
Don't say that.
Listen, we always say in church, if you want to meet somebody, serve. Because you'll find them in the circles that you serve in. So I'm just saying they might have been serving with like open eyes,
Asaz.
But no, that's cool, man. So how did you move from that circle? Because you clearly met your wife outside of that. But before you answer that, I just wanted to make a comment on the thing on waiters. Totally agree with you. It does say a lot about somebody, especially how they treat those who serve them. So for me, it's at that level. But secondly, I used to work as a waiter, so I know, just like, my wife would sometimes have to calm me down to say, like, you're being too extra with how you want to tip and whatever. And I'm like, man, I remember having to work for airtime, before data. Having to work for airtime and just how hectic that was. And being in circles with people who were, and I was in high school, being with people in circles with people who were actually doing this full time and they were looking after families and their children, and so I'm like, man, the pressure that waiters, and there's other industries where people have pressures, but we're speaking about this one particularly. the pressure that they feel, and then for somebody to just treat them like dirt on top of that when they like serving, you know, I'm like, man, that does say a lot. And there's other times where waiters don't have an excuse, where you're like, even you, we can't even excuse you now. Like you had work like, as well. On. Yeah, come on. Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to say that on that, man, that it's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing for me. So yeah, how did you move from, what moved you?
So you know what, I can't say I moved per se, but COVID happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
COVID happened, and all of a sudden we were finding ourselves in, you know, different, life just became different.
Yeah.
And so with COVID happening, there was no church.
Yeah.
You know, there was no connections and socializing the way that we used to.
Yeah.
So I think my wife and I had actually known each other since varsity. So she's not a stranger, right? So she's someone I've known for a very long time. And I think around COVID, just over social media, we just started like vibing. I think that's the best
Which
way to put it.
social media is responsible for this one? Instagram?
This was Instagram.
Okay.
This was Instagram.
Hey, Mark Zuckerberg has married people.
No, like seriously. And it was so random, like how it happened.
Sure.
You know, just a small comment here and there. You know, honestly, I can't even explain like what made me say some of the things that I'd say on some of her posts. You know, I'm pretty sure, like, if I had to go back to them now and look at the things I was saying, I'd be like, dude, and like Bopuzen. Like, and you know, she would like play along. Right? And little did we notice that there was something kind of developing, right? And then at some stage, you know, she was doing something called The Legal Dish, where she was interviewing like a number of legal professionals. So she hit me up. She said, "Look, man, can I interview you? I'm looking for a male, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." She came through. She interviewed me. Apparently those who were watching the recording, but there were sparks flying. Chemistry. I'm like, guys, we were talking about the law. Like, what sparks and what chemistry?
But hey, maybe two lawyers talking about the law.
But yeah, I think when we both go back and watch that clip now, it's a bit embarrassing because like we blushing and it's so wild. But yeah, fast forward. So kind of after that interview, we got to chatting a bit. So I didn't know her personally as much as I'd known her for a very long time. You know, I didn't really know like, what's your story? You know, and like, who are you? Like, I knew her from the girl I knew at varsity. I knew her from what one sees on social media, but like, you know, didn't know her in depth. So I was like, so she might hate me for this, but I'm going to expose. So one day, so this is Twitter now. So X, sorry. So I posted something on my X, right? I don't remember what I'd said, man. It was something along the lines of like, if a guy is interested, you'll know, or something along those lines, right? So she then sent me a DM, you know, like on some, that's a very interesting tweet, mister, you know, like.
Is this after the interview?
This is after the interview. So now I'm like, hi, bro. Like, what's going on here? You know? So, and by then, we have a lot of common friends. By then, a lot of our common friends had actually like, you know, they'd spoken to me, they'd spoken to her. Like, can you guys not see, Guti, the two of you? Like, there's some, you know, I'd like, no, you guys are seeing things. There's no ways. She's way out of my league. Like, I honestly, like, I always looked at my wife and thought, this woman is way out of my league. Like, there's no way. So that thought never even crossed my mind. You know, I was just like, I don't think I'm her type. Like, you know? So when she then sent that tweet, then I'm like, hi, man, what's going on here? Like, could it be?
Did you go look at yourself in the mirror?
I'm like, could it be? Like, so I was like, you know what? I responded, I was like, why don't we have coffee so I can tell you what this tweet is all about? And then she's like,
guys, that's game. It's called game. For the young kids, it's called Riz. That's Riz.
And so I remember that she had posted something at some point, right, about how women love it when a guy is decisive and like he takes action, and like women don't like the whole, so where do you want to eat? We can, just like tell me where we must go and eat, right? So I was like, boom, let's have coffee, right? And then she's like, okay. And then I followed up with we can do Melrose on this day at this time. I was done.
I'll even take your order now, your coffee order now.
So it turns out like that really impressed her.
That's
right?
dope, man.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm keen to know if that's the lawyer in you or that's just you.
That's just me. That's just me. Yeah, man. And I think, as it goes, the rest is history. We obviously we met up for coffee, and for me, I was really interested in who are you? Like, what are you about? What is your life story? Like, where are you when it comes to Christ? And those are the kind of questions I asked. Like, first date, like it was already at that level. Like, who is Jesus in your life? What's your family like? What is like your background? And, so it went into that detail. And obviously, I had to tell her about myself as well. So it went into that much detail. I think coffee actually turned into dinner. And they were just, and it just flowed from there, right?
That's cool,
yeah.
Sure. That's dope, man. That's a beautiful story. And I know there's probably other sparks that you've left out. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's why we need to have a round two.
No, I mean, when I talk about my story with my wife, man, I could go on forever. So I'm just
that's
like,
cool, though.
Yeah.
So no, that's dope, man. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to her as well. Before I want to ask you about being married now.
Yeah.
You had said, if we paddle back, you were resolved that you'd rather be single if you don't meet the kind of person that meets at least those first two things in your list, in your criteria. How did that resolve melt? So obviously you're meeting with her, you're talking to her, but what conversation are you having with yourself now after that first initial coffee date?
Yeah.
Are you going back and saying, dang it feels like I am gonna break and possibly start dating? And I asked that because a lot of people get stuck in that, so you make the resolve and then you go on a hunt and at some point you get lost in the hunt and you forget what you actually were looking for.
Yeah.
And then, you'll hear people say, hey, a good thing passed me by.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes the good thing passes you by because you were stuck in your resolve and you didn't actually notice when somebody who met your criteria came around, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a conversation with yourself? Did you have brothers around you who were like, Mfana, la, this is it, dog,
Yeah. So I had many conversations with myself.
Sure.
I had conversations with my boys because I think for the age that we were at, I knew that there's no room for playing around, right?
Sure.
If you're going to do this thing, you need to be serious. You need to be all in. So by the time I made the decision to actually, say to her, will you be my girlfriend? I had to go through those questions. I had to ask myself, are you ready for this, right?
Sure.
Could this be it for you? Are you happy with this being it for you, right? So I played out the entire, like, I played out, this is where we're at now. This is what the end could look like.
Sure.
Are you happy with that end? Like, do you see yourself marrying this person? And if the answer is yes, then, then you have to then take the step of asking her to be your girlfriend.
Sure.
And through that, I spoke to my friends, I told them, this is, well, I haven't met someone, but I'm dating someone.
Sure.
One of my friends who was very excited for me, did not waste time to tell me, Guti, no, Shem, bayak upgrade, I'm gonna like, this is a step up for you.
Don't mess this one up.
Yeah. Sure. But yeah, man, I think I'm very grateful to my friends, because I did have, there were some questions that I needed to answer, right? I think one of those questions was, so my wife had a child, right? So I had to ask myself, right, like, are you ready to go into a relationship where the dynamic is, there is a child, and one day you may need to be a father to this child, right? So so I definitely went through that. And it was, I prayed about it as well. And I think it helps that I can be quite decisive. So once I've decided on something, then I follow through. So I think once I went through that process of asking the questions and praying about it, talking to my friends, I decided, no, you know what, I'm doing this. And that's why when we started dating officially, like, for me, it was, I know that this is it for me. And for her as well, like, going into it, she also went into it with that mindset that this is it for me, right? But we still need to tick the box of, let's get to know each other, and let's see what will happen if we were to fight. How are we going to deal with that? So we knew we still have to, like, we can't just get married. Although I did threaten to propose after 6 months, she shut me down very quickly. She was like, no, don't do it. Don't do that. It's
she
not
wanted to
work.
wait for longer.
Yeah. She was like, no, Shem, not after 6 months. Like, I know I want to marry you, but like, don't propose after 6 months. So I proposed after a year. But I did go through that process.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's good, bro. We always say when we officiating weddings, that and we, because you've kind of had this conversation with the couple before. You're saying it to the witnesses that are there and the people who've come to support them. that marriage shouldn't be entered into unsoberly, or without any thought, to it. So, and there's a lady I was talking to, and she was like, man, we actually got married to try and fix our relationship.
Sure.
And I was like, smack.
No, smack. Don't do that.
Don't do that,
Yeah, no.
And to her defense, she had tried everything, and this seemed like the next logical thing to do. And I was like, man, it's hard if you're gonna, because this is such a big commitment, and it requires just clear thinking, because who you are essentially is going to have to die, so that a new self comes out, to be the person that your spouse needs, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, it's going to be a tough one.
And I think a lot of people, make the mistake of thinking that marriage will fix a lot of things and a lot of issues that they're experiencing while they're still, dating or courting, whatever you want to say. So people think, if I become a husband or if I become a wife, then, these things will change, or our dynamic will be different because now we'll be living with each other. So that's going to change, and I think it's a big mistake. It's a trap. Don't fall into it. Because I think what marriage does is it just, how can I say it maximizes who you actually are.
Yes.
I don't know if maximize is the right word, but like
it even exposes.
It exposes who you actually are, right? And so I think there will always be issues and problems in marriage. But, and I don't think there can ever be a time when your relationship is so perfect that like now is the perfect time for us to get married, right? So there's always going to be things that are there that you're working on. But I think getting into a marriage to fix things, because when you get into marriage, you find other things.
Other things, man.
Yeah. So now you are coming with a lot. and you're going to meet a lot, and it's a lot meeting a lot. And it's just yeah.
I think maximize is actually a good word, because I always say that, you know, if you guys are before marriage, your love, and you can't quantify love, but just for the sake of my point, if like you guys are, you know, passionate, your hearts, things are going well, and your relationship is at like a 30%, you know, marriage will maximize that thing. Marriage takes what's there, and it amplifies it, exposes it, amplifies it.
That's good.
So if you guys are at a -10, right, that's what marriage is gonna take, that -10, and just make it worse, right? It's gonna take it the opposite direction. Exactly, you know. So I'm like, man, don't do that. You've been married for 3 years now.
We've been married 3 years now. It feels like it's longer.
Sure.
It's not in a bad way, but in you know, we were saying we watch a lot of Love is Blind. And the people in Love is Blind are always talking about, oh my God, I feel like I've known you forever. You know, the time in the pods. So we like that. We like, has it only been 3 years? Like, so we really feel like it's been much longer than 3 years. But it's been 3 years. And I think it could also be that so much has happened in these 3 years. You know, like life just moves at a rapid pace. So much has happened, and we feel like we've been through a lot together, you know, because I think the more things that life throws at you, and the more things that you go through together as a couple, you know, that really brings you closer, and it really makes you feel like, we've been at this thing, right? But it's only been 3 years.
That's cool, man. That's
dope.
That statement could be read either way, you know. So it's 3 years. It feels long, because you guys have been fighting for so like every single moment, right? Oh man, it's 3 years, and it feels long because it feels like we've just known each other. It's been so amazing, you know.
It's like that thing of like trying to imagine what life was like before this person.
Man, that thing is hard, dog.
Yeah.
It is hard. And I think it's hard because your marriage is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because I'm like, how was my life before I met
what
my
was
wife?
I doing?
I was like, and it's just my brain can't go there. You know?
Yeah.
So that's a sign, guys. If you can remember how it was to be single, go see a psychologist, go see a counselor.
You need some help, maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah. So 3 years, a lot has happened. Earlier on, you mentioned, you know, having to think through marrying your wife who had a daughter already.
Yeah.
Fast forward to when Rory's getting baptized. And you in the water with her.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, man.
Pants and all.
Suit and all. I was like,
you know what I mean?
In my suit.
Man, I'm like, so I if I you know, I mean, I'll share it. I have great dreams for my daughter.
Yeah.
And you know, her names combined. She has two names. Her names combined mean a woman who conquers with fire. You know, so I'm like, go conquer, right? Go conquer with fire. That's the dream I have for you, and just take over. You know, but another thing that I have for her is for her to get married.
Yeah.
You know, and I, if that's God's gift for her, and that's in God's will, man, I would desire for her to get married.
Yeah.
Above all the other dreams I have for her is for her to walk with Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think, was it last year? Yeah, the 21st of November. I think she gave her life to Jesus in her little 5-year-old brain. You know? So and so I shared the gospel with her, and she had questions, and she wanted to accept him. And for me, I was like, man, that's massive. You know? And obviously, after you accept Christ, baptism is you know, a way to say this. Something has happened in my heart, and I'm sharing it with the rest of the family. You know what I mean? So for me to see that moment you shared with Rory, I was just like, man, that just, you know, brought me to a place where I was like, that's out of everything I wish for my daughter. Like, this is it. This is the moment where I'm like, man, it's so precious. You know, it just overrides all other dreams. Walk me through that for you, you know, you I don't know if you made the statement consciously where you were like, you had to think about that one day you're going to be a father to her.
Yeah.
Was that a moment where you became, or did that moment happen before? And that baptism just amplified that, you know?
Sure. So maybe let me answer, then I'll walk you through.
Sure.
So I became an instant father when I got married, Chief.
Sure.
Like as soon as I said I do, right? And she's so amazing, you know, that like from that moment, she saw me as a father. You know. So there wasn't one specific incident that happened where I felt like, okay, I am now a father to her. Other than when I said I do to my wife, right? I think just the act of us moving in and living together, right? Me taking her to school in the morning, like, you know, all of that, I think that all just spoke into that me being a father to her, right? And us just building our own relationship. And then the baptism, that was such a beautiful moment, man. And I'm forever grateful to Pastor Martin for that moment, because it was, you know, the way that God does his things, like it's so amazing. And like, it's just confirmation that he is who he says he is. You know, there's things that happen and you can, like, the only logic thing is that's God. Like that was a God moment right there. So Rory had been wanting to get baptized since last year, I think, right? So she'd wanted to get baptized since last year. You know, we'd spoken to her about it, we'd explained it to her. And you know, even when she told us that she wants to get baptized, you know, we asked her a couple of questions, try to make sure that she understands what it is that she wants to do, right? And she explained it to us, you know, and we were happy with the answer, and we were happy that she has accepted Jesus Christ as her Lord and Savior. And we were happy that she understands that, you know, baptism, when I'm immersed in the water, this is what it means. When I come up, this is what it means, right? So we were like, okay, you know what, we're not gonna let your age be the thing that prevents you from getting baptized, because, you know, the Bible does not say you can only baptize 20-year-olds or whatever, right? And so once we were satisfied, we then went to inquire esontweni, because they were going to have a baptism. So we, you know, I spoke to Umfundisi, and, you know, it was an emphatic yes. You know, he's like, yes, of course, you know, bring her. And so we had discussed, so my wife used to go to City Hope. And we had seen a baptism there. In fact, the day my wife got baptized. And we had seen some fathers baptizing their children, right? So that's what they do, right? If the dad is there and he'd like to. So we had seen that happening. And we had spoken about, oh, how amazing would it be if I could be the one, you know, that does Rory's baptism. So then fast forward, we're at a different church now. So that dream is kind of out the window, because they do things differently, right? And so we were outside there by the little pool, and, you know, my family was there, my wife's family was there, you know, we were all there to witness Rory getting baptized. Her little brother had just been blessed, you know, during the service. So it was really, it was an amazing day for us as a family. And so I'm there, I'm all suited up, Benkogi suit that day, you know, esontweni, because I don't wear suits to church anymore. But my suiti as I am.
Why not? That's what I was going to ask. I'm like,
man,
that's your business.
I wear suits almost like every day, and our church is so chilled. Like we wear jeans and t-shirts. It's really chilled.
I see. Jesus was judging you. That's all I'm saying.
So that day I happened to be wearing a suit, and, you know, now is the time for, you know, they call up Rory's name. I'm there, I'm next to her. And I think at that moment, I'm holding Iminati on the one hand. And I think I'm trying to feed him. And I'm also like holding a phone. So I'm trying to like take
Record
content,
this,
feed this one. You know, my wife is sorting out
You've been a super dad.
you know, trying to make sure that like, you know, she's getting in. And then Umfundisi was just like, he looked to the side and he sees me and he's like, no, man. And like, Dube.
Come in.
No, in fact, calls me Sbuda. It's like, no, man, Sbuda, come in. You know what? And in that moment, I didn't even like think like Ngogi, like how, you know? So the minute he was like, Sbuda, come in. Don't worry, come in. And then immediately there was someone came to like grab my clothes. Someone came because I had to like take off my jacket, take off my shoes. So someone is there, like they're like, no, give me, I'll hold for you. And someone came to take the phone that was in my hand. You know, she's like, no, don't worry, I'll capture. I was like, okay, like, and there I was, cool. You know, like everything just happened, you know, and I went in, and, you know, I got to be involved in, you know, baptizing her and, you know, and afterwards, like when she came up, you know, I just held her, I just hugged her. And man, it was a really special moment. My wife was in tears, my mother-in-law was in tears. It was just such a beautiful moment. My sister-in-law was in tears, like it was just like a whole lot of tears. It was a very emotional moment, and I think I was just in awe of God's grace and faithfulness, and just what that moment meant, and just the fact that like we had spoken about this almost a year ago, that like, wouldn't it be amazing if I were to be involved in that moment? And then just to see it unfolding in the way that it did, it was truly amazing.
Sheesh,
and she, you know, she was so emotional as well, and, you know, she said like, just having me there and, you know, being the one to do it, it just made it even more special for her. So
man, that's dope, bro. That was it's one thing to see it on pictures. It's another thing to hear it from you. You know? This colors that picture, you know, 1,000 times more. So man, that's special, man.
No, thanks, man.
And I bet you there's fathers watching this now who are just like, man, they long for that moment. And I bring them up because somebody had asked me a couple of weeks ago why I do what I do here. And I'm like, man, I could give you a very elaborate answer, but, you know, at the core of it, I'm just trying to encourage husbands to stay at home. Stay at home, you know, because if you stay at home, you can experience the baptism. If you stay at home, you're there when she goes for her matric dance. If you stay at home, you're there when she, you know, completes grade 7. If you stay at home, you know, you're there when she's crying, when she's figuring out who she is, you know, for the first time, when she's a teenager. I'm like, just stay at home, man. Because your presence, man, is felt and seen, and, you know, will be, you see these TikToks that say kids don't remember the sneakers you bought them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. You know, so by the time Rory's, you know, going to varsity, she'll remember how you made her feel. And not what iPhone you bought her. You know, because there'll be a new iPhone anyway by that time. So shout outs to you, man.
No, thanks, man.
Shout outs to you.
Thanks.
To you, brother. And I asked that question the way I did, you know, because you had prefaced your statement by saying you were thinking about becoming a father. And then I had Koketsa Mlale, who's a close friend to Martin as well. I had him on the pod, and he said, you know, when his daughter was born, like he just sat with her and just did not seem to have like what he expected would be a natural connection, you know. And so he was like, maybe there's something wrong with me. What's going on, you know? And it's in COVID, at his lowest point, you know, he had closed down his business. They had just started the church, but they had to go move to the in-laws. And he's sitting there thinking, what's happening in my life, and he's holding his daughter and is like, man, that thing I expected to happen at birth just happened then, you know. So it's like I became a father in that moment, you know. So I'm like, I've heard mothers who say they struggle with that. I've never heard fathers until Koketo's story. You know, mothers would say, I gave birth and then I looked at my kid and I was like, I'm not feeling anything. What's going on? You know, is this natural? Is something wrong with me as a mother? Will I never be the kind of mother that I thought I would be? You know? And I don't think a lot of men speak about that themselves, you know. And we all tend to take the more stoic posture and I'm just a dad. And it's like, nah, man. Like, be the guy who will jump into the pool with Isut, right? And be there, right? Let your daughter see you, say. And that would probably be a special thing for my daughter because, yes, I'm very particular with my clothes. so there's a friend of mine, David. David is the cool uncle, you know?
Yeah,
and
David.
The kids climb on him.
Yeah.
And so now my daughter's like, oh, I want to. I'm like,
girl, let's, like,
What pants am I wearing?
Yeah, no, not today.
Okay, maybe take off your shoes first.
Okay,
let's put them on the side.
That's a bit next level, but you know,
let's dust off your feet first before. Okay, now let's do this once. Okay, so, but I'm like, man, they're gonna remember that.
Yeah,
you know? They're gonna remember that moment. So yeah, it's particularly dope, man. Shout outs to you, bro. Shout outs.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
That's massive.
Yeah.
You spoke of Imi, and he's who decided to not cut his hair. That's because his hair is glorious.
His hair is growing, and
it is glorious. I'm like,
hey, what's up, Black Newborn from That Husband podcast, man. I am speaking particularly to you if you are part of our Beans and Bonds community. Beans and Bonds is supposed to be happening this coming Saturday, the 26th of July, but due to a loss in our community, we want to take this time to grieve and mourn with those who are mourning. And so we're asking you to pray with and for us as we spend this time with our loved ones, so that we really just use this time to celebrate a life that we've lost, and to also just be grieving. We have decided to postpone Beans and Bonds to the 30th of August. And so what that means is that if you've bought a ticket, your ticket carries over to the 30th. But if you would want a refund, we will gladly refund you your ticket. But I would say, just as a personal note and advice, man, keep that ticket because we are still looking at the same theme when good things become unhealthy escapes. It's just going to be an incredible conversation, one that we were definitely looking forward to, and we still are because it's coming on the 30th of August. And so we would ask you to, just be with us, pray with us and pray for us in this time, and we would want to see you in the room on the 30th of August. So please do take note of that. All right, see you then. Peace.
You spoke of Imi, and he's who decided to not cut his hair. That's because his hair is glorious.
His hair is growing, and
it
we
is
love
glorious. I'm like, man, I am jealous of Imi's hair.
So it's both of us, eh? It just. You guys
did not do the black thing.
We just didn't see a reason to cut it, right? Like, sure. I mean, he's always had great hair, right?
It's amazing.
We look at photos now and we're like, why did we think this boy has good hair? Yeah. But like, because now he's got great hair, right? Yeah, but he's just always had hair, and we just never felt like cutting it. Like, even when he turned 1, I think there's certain times where both my wife and I, we're very logical people.
Sure.
So we like, if you can just give us a reason why we need to cut his hair, and then we promise you we will cut his hair, right? And nobody's been able to give us a reason. And it's so weird because it upsets my parents, right? My parents are like, and they're like, can you cut the boy's hair? Like every time. And my dad will be like, okay, mafule kancane nje, you know? And we just like his hair doesn't bother us, you know? We like, it doesn't bother us. We like it. Sure. When we're ready to cut his hair, we'll cut his hair. Sure. It's not a big deal for us. It's just like, it's his hair. Like,
Sure.
Geez, he could be a little Samson. Who knows?
Come on now. That's what he's How has it been? How has it been having a son, man?
Man, having a son. It's so amazing.
Sure.
I think I would have been happy with a daughter.
Okay.
But when we found out that it's a boy,
Sure.
I think I experienced a joy I didn't know existed.
Sure.
I was extremely happy. I've always wanted a boy. I think most guys do want a boy.
Sure.
And fortunately enough for us, we already have a girl. So God just favored us with a boy. So man, it's amazing. It's amazing having a son. We already have matching outfits. I got him a ball the other day and he was kicking it and we were playing soccer. My wife insists that's the happiest she's ever seen me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I was happier on our wedding day.
Yes, when I met you. Okay.
But yeah, man, it's been amazing. I think just being a dad. Just being a dad. It's amazing. It's life-changing. My life will never be the same.
No, it won't, man.
My life will never be the same. In a good way and a bad way.
Sure.
But yeah, man, it's really been amazing. Yeah. And I think, you spoke earlier just around, I think you said kokets or not having like, a connection or, I remember, when we found out about Uimi and, just leading up to him being born.
Sure.
I think one of my biggest fears was whether I'll be able to be a dad to a baby. Like I was really like, will I know how to take care of him? Will I know how to change a nappy? Will I be, will my wife be comfortable leaving him with me? Like just the two of us, ahambe and get on with life or do whatever she needs to do. So those are some of the fears that I had, and let me tell you, man, as soon as that little man was born, the nurses at the hospital were amazing because the first time he had to change a nappy, they were like, Puti, was. And I was like, oh, I don't know how. Can you show me?
Sure.
And they're like, sizokufundisa. And true to form, they taught me, like they taught me. So she showed me the first time. And then the second time we had to do it, I went back to her. I said, look, it's time to change the nappy. Can you just show me one more time? Or can I do it in front of you so you can guide me, because my wife was out of it, right? Like she's just given birth. She's out of it. Like, there's no ways you can expect her to be getting up and changing nappies. Like you have to do it, right? So whatever fears I had went out the window because it's like, this man is here now and he needs you. Like uguti uyasaba awukwazi ini. There's no time for that, bro. Like you need to act right now, right? And I think that's, I call it a paternal instinct, that like just desire to protect and provide and take care. It just kicked in, like, in that moment. Like it was like, like you all he has right now. Like right now, you're all he has because mommy is recovering. So yeah, those are some of my fears, and I think that's just part of being a father and just being able to do that. One of my favorite things about being a father is just being able to take care of the kids. Like being able to do things for them.
Good,
and like with a baby, they're so dependent, for everything. So like for everything, right? So I get so much joy from feeding my son. It's like Shem, like agagwazi, although like now he can feed himself, but I get so much joy just from doing things like that, but yeah, man, that's fatherhood.
It is, man.
Yeah,
that's dope, bro. As you're speaking, I'm like, just thinking of legacy and, the kind of example that we set for our kids and the kind of life that we're going to leave for them and what kind of adults they're going to be. You know? And so when I look at you and your wife, and I think of you guys in light of how me and my wife are. So we creatives, we dreamers, we do stuff together.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it seems like you are a vuyer, serious vuyer, big dreamer, right? you have work, you have how many other side hustles?
Jeez.
you run a talent management agency, you put Masuti, and there's probably another thing.
No, it's just those two.
Okay.
It's just those two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? And then your wife runs her own practice.
Yeah.
So,
she runs her own practice.
So all of that, in light of raising our kids, leaving a legacy, how do you as a husband champion dreaming in the household? Because clearly you have dreams.
Yeah.
She has her own thing. Most couples struggle with living out their dreams.
Yeah.
And I think what's more detrimental is couples who struggle with particularly their husband championing the wife to live out her dream, and sometimes if it's the other way around, husbands then kill their dreams because, man, I just need to provide, I need to keep a roof over our heads, I have all these other wild dreams, but I'll visit them in retirement, and by then you might be too old to even do the things that you want to do. So you just slowly die and kill your own dreams in the process. How have you managed to champion all of that, man?
Sure. So I think what's really helped us is we're very supportive of each other.
Sure.
When we got married, my wife wasn't running her own practice.
Okay.
She had a job. She was working for government.
Okay.
And at some stage, she left that job and, the conversation was, I want to do my own thing.
Sure.
And for me, it was very easy to support that. For me, her happiness means everything, right? I want her to be happy. I want her to go after the things that are going to make her happy. I want her to dream big. Because for me, if she's going after her dreams and things are working out and she's winning, we are winning. I've always said to her that I believe that a time will come where you are the breadwinner.
Sure.
Like, it's cool. Now I can hold things down, like, for now. But, those international holidays that we dream about, you're the one who's going to be taking us on those international holidays. So for me, that's how much I believe in her and, her talent and her potential.
Sure.
So it's been very easy for me to support her in whatever it is that she's trying to accomplish. And similarly for her, she supports me just as much. But I think what really helps us is, when it comes to my side hustles, they really are side hustles, right? They're not the main focus.
Sure.
And I got to a place in my life where I became content with accepting that. And there's a lady sitting in this room right now. I watched a YouTube video she once made about dreams, and that
we're not going to mention who that lady is.
We won't mention who she is. But I watched that video, right? She spoke about how sometimes we need to accept that not every dream is for us, or that not every dream may be aligned with what God has planned for us, And I remember watching that and thinking to myself, I have so many dreams, and like somehow things have just not worked out the way that they should have, or I would have wanted them to work out. Like, I have a lot of faith. I prayed, I took steps, it wasn't like dead faith with no action, right? And so I got to a place where I accepted that there are certain dreams that might not be what God wants for me.
Sure.
And it could very well be that the one thing that is working out might be what God actually wants me to be doing. That could be where he's placed me and where he wants me to really do well and have impact, right? And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to just focus on where God has placed me and do my best there and be the best person I can be the best ambassador for him I can be. And then these other things that might not quite be what is meant to be like the core of who I am or the core of my life, then let me treat those things as a hobby. Let me treat it as like it's a habit. You know, it's just something that you do for fun, right? So what am I doing on Saturday, right? Like maybe I'm playing cricket, or maybe I'm meeting someone to talk about how we can style them for their wedding, right? But I'm not gonna live off styling people for their weddings, right? One of my biggest dreams was to be a sportscaster.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be like Rob Marawa. Like that was me. Like I was like, you know, sportscaster, sports agent. Right. That was like one of my biggest dreams. But the way things have worked out, I accepted that maybe that's not the dream that God has for you. But through Dube talent, a part of that is able to continue living. And I'm therefore able to satisfy, you know, that void or that hunger through that. But I'm content with that not being my main thing. You know, I don't think that God is against it or whatever the case may be, but maybe it's not meant to be my main thing, right? And this is the main thing. So that's how, you know, I've got my main thing, which is law. That's my focus. That's number one. All of my energy goes there, right? And that's what keeps the family going as well, because there's a family now, right? You need to account for that, right? And so, but I'm able to create time, and my wife gives me that space when I say, "Ish, love, you know, I'm gonna be gone Saturday morning. I need to go and source fabric, and then I need to go to the guys who are making the clothes. I need to meet with them. You know, I've got new orders, so I'm gonna need you to cover with Uimi or like Shems. You're gonna be a single parent, you know, for Saturday morning, you know." And you know, it's like, no, it's all good. There. You know, she's there. The same with her. You know, she's running a practice. She's running her own business. So you know, there's times where she'll say, "Ish, love, I need to push. So sorry, but you're gonna have to do nighttime with the kids, right? So like the nighttime routine with the kids, and that's fine, you know. So then that means like I need to sort out the kids, and I think that's how we support each other.
It's dope, man.
Yeah,
man, that's fire. As you were talking now, what I was thinking of is just how you manage all of that, and you obviously now explained with how your wife partners with you. Because there's a phrase you used in one of your posts where I was like, man, I want to be like this guy.
Jeez.
if anyone is watching who follows Sbu, there's a post he put out where he says he's an equity partner of the biggest law firm in Africa.
Hey man,
I'm like, there's a bunch of us with Google open. Equity partner in the biggest law firm in Africa. I was like, man, how do you do everything? You know, with that kind of post, with all the other things that you do, having 2 kids, being married. I'm like, man, like you guys. And again, you know, marriages are not perfect.
Yeah.
But you guys must be doing a very big like deal of meeting each other, you know, having to work out each other's schedules. But there's probably a level of forgiving each other that needs to happen, because somewhere you're going to drop the ball and forget that Saturday you have to go, you know, source out fabric, or she's going to ask you to, you know, pick up the kids and it clashes with a meeting that you have. And so I'm like, man, forgiveness becomes the lubricant. It becomes the gel that keeps you guys going.
Yeah.
In lives that tend to be that busy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, like you've kind of explained it, that you guys, you know, take care of each other. But I'm like, in the moments when I did forget.
Yeah.
And let me add this. There's a couple we spoke to 40 years, 42 years, 43 married. Been married for 43 years. And I asked them, what's the biggest thing that you argue about now? And they were like, scheduling, calendars. 43 years later. And the wife is retired. And they both retired.
They both retired, yeah.
The husband is consulting now.
Yeah.
But they're still fighting over
scheduling.
schedules.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, first of all, just on that post, man, I can't just not mention how good God has been. Come on, you know, like for me, that was really just me just trying to show how big God is. Come like on, little old me from small town, you know, with a position like this. Sure. Like, sure. But sure. Back to my wife and I, sure, you know, so I'm a very like organized person. Yeah. And I'm very like, I like to plan ahead. Yeah. I think things through. I'm very analytical. So I can kind of like preempt like things, and you know, so I think it comes with the kind of job that I do as well, you know, like so I think that's helped us a lot in our marriage, because I'm the dates guy in the marriage as well. Sure. Like I'm the one who remembers, yeah, by the way, today's our anniversary. Yeah. Shame, no, I'm kidding. She doesn't forget anniversaries. but
if she burns you, please decide.
No, shame.
We can't be accomplices.
Anniversary I kumbula.
That's good.
So I think that's helped us a lot.
Sure.
Just when it comes to that kind of thing. But we also try and communicate as much as possible. So for example, there'll be a message maybe sometime in the, so we lawyers, of course, both of us, right? We talk about work, right? Sure. We talk about work, like, and that's great for us because she actually knows what I'm talking about when I talk to her about work, and I know what she's talking about when we talk about work. So very often, I always have a good idea of how much she has on her plate. She always has a good idea of what I have on my plate, right? So if I say to her, I'm at the CCMA tomorrow, it's going to be a full day thing, right? She knows already that, okay, that means he won't be home until this time. So that helps her to then plan her day accordingly, right? I know when she's seeing flames, you know, like she'll say, you know, I'm drafting this settlement agreement. I've got that, I've got this, or I'm waiting for something from council, or whatever the case may be, right? So we generally know what each one has got on the table, and we have an idea as to who's going to be able to come home early, who's not going to be able to come home early, right? So we have, first of all, we've got that kind of understanding. That's good, bro. But two, there'll always be at some point in the day, you know, just a text that goes out. Or if my wife is not talking to me during the day, then I know that it's hectic. Like, then I know, Guti, no, like I must make a plan to get home. So we have that understanding. We have that kind of communication. Weekends, the same, you know, we have sometimes our helpers there over the weekend. Then the weekends when she's not, those are the weekends where we try as much as possible to communicate in advance. What does your weekend look like? What do you need to do? Or, you know, Black has asked me to come to the podcast. Do you have anything that you're doing that might, you know, interfere with me going there? So we try as much as possible to keep open communication lines so that we don't have those awkward situations where it's like, but I need to do this, and you need to do this, and so yeah, maybe we haven't been married long enough, but for now, I think for now we really try as much as possible just to meet each other halfway. We always say that one of the most beautiful things about our marriage is just how it's a partnership. Like we partner together in everything that we do. So I think that's really helped us quite a bit, and it's helped us quite a bit in just managing and trying to juggle. And it's not a perfect balance, right? Balancing what we're doing individually in our work lives and having to be spouses to each other and having to be parents, and having to be friends with people and having
side hustles
and having the extra things that we do. I play cricket, for example, so like most of my Saturdays, I'll spend 3 hours playing cricket. So it's not easy balancing those things. And there's church and so there's never a perfect balance. I think pretty much there's always something that's getting less attention than something else. I think it's impossible to have a perfect balance. There are weeks where my wife will come home and she still has to work. So we could go a week with seeing each other but not seeing each other.
You're around each other.
We are around each other. There's no perfect balance. And in that time, the marriage part is down, right? Because the business part has to be lifted, right? So
seasons, man.
Seasons,
ebbs and flows, rhythms. This whole life, work-life balance. It's a fallacy, man.
It's a balance that doesn't really balance.
Sure, exactly. Right? You just have to go with the ebbs and flows, man. The rhythms. So that's encouraging to hear, bro. And you have been married long enough. Marriage shows you flames day one. Day one.
So, no, although I mean, for day one is still no semnandi. Day one, no, like day one, like although I've heard like many people say even on wedding day they were like they were not talking. Like it was. I spoke to him when I said I do.
My I do was hard.
My I do was
very hard.
I do, Maruyas.
Yes.
No, shame. Like
that's funny,
man. Day one was awesome for me. I'm not gonna lie. Day one was amazing. In fact, like I think honeymoon yethu beyinde man yazi. I think honeymoon yethu I know beyinde. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like like our honeymoon phase. It was long.
I see.
No, not the actual honeymoon. Like that so-called honeymoon phase.
Yes, sure.
I know it was long, Shem. I'm not gonna lie. I think the people that are coming between our honeymoon phase. I won't mention them. We know those people. They're cute and all, but like they come in between the honeymoon phase.
God calls them a blessing. I'm like,
no, hey, and they are.
Hey, your definition of a blessing is strange.
No,
Father.
like we're very grateful for them. We love them. But they do affect the honeymoon phase.
That's why we need active grandparents. Abokoko nabomkhulu bamanje. Hayi, fanele ngiye somewhere. Uyakuphi gogo? Sala nabantwana.
Mina their gogo subscribes to the podcast songs Thula. This part, Thulile, just minding my own business.
I'm sorry, I'm taking my words back. I was talking about my mom. Anyway.
No, but it really helps having my grandparents.
No, it does, bro. It does.
Yeah,
totally. And having a community around, so I'm like, most of us come from outside the places that we live in currently.
Yeah.
And so family structures is not there. And so if you don't belong to a church community or some form of community, man, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. You can't trust your neighbors. You don't know them. to say, hey, look after my kid.
Yeah, no.
You can't, man.
Shem, my neighbors are interesting.
Yeah. We love them. There might be subscribers here as well.
No, we love them. They are interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love them.
So,
but not interesting enough to leave the kids.
Yeah, no. And even the flip side of that, the inverse, I'm like, don't leave your kids with me as well. Like to my neighbors, I'm like, do not leave.
No, I've got enough kids. I'm fine. Thank you.
We're good. So, man, this has been dope, bro. This has been incredible. There's two more things from me, and then I'll let you go.
Sure.
The first, I reference your videos because, again, I wanted to say this to you. I'm like, I don't know how this guy is active on social media. I don't, because your plate is full. I'm like, where do you get time to post?
Yeah.
You're here on TikTok, on Instagram, and you have several pages, and you have a real job.
Yeah, I do.
So, but you're active, which is dope, man. It's dope, And I'm prefacing this because you had put out a video saying that people must not just ask for free legal advice. They don't ask a doctor
to treat them for free.
I'm sure, Linji.
Yeah.
While we're sitting here,
just tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, just once I know what's wrong, then
it's grand. Yeah. Randomly at a braai, say to a preacher, I'll show my ears. Encouragement.
Can you just lay hands on me? Like,
yeah.
So prophesy, man.
Yeah. No, just prophesy now.
Prophesy. Like,
I saw a post. Somebody's like, they asked ChatGPT for a prophecy. ChatGPT, here's my name, my age, where I stay. Please give me a prophecy.
That's so interesting.
And Chat gave him a prophecy.
Is ChatGPT a fake prophet or what? Watch out, pastors.
Yay.
AI is taking over.
Come on, man. Anyway, all of that to say, I'm doing that right now.
Oh, okay. Legal advice. Here we go. I knew there was a reason you brought me here.
So your wife is in family law.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of law you in.
I do employment and sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but maybe you speak to your wife, so the question of community of property and prenuptials.
Yeah.
Because there's been a very strong push recently. And I say recently, it's probably recent for us blacks.
Yeah.
For as long as we've been alive, get married in community of property, especially if it's mundo akolo.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. And in the church as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the church.
In the church as well, And then you hear a prenup in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And some reality show, then we like, vela ma celebrity. That's why I want a prenup, And then community of property has like a good reputation.
Yeah.
Prenup, hi man, what are you saying?
What are you saying?
Are you going in this thing with an exit plan? So then I'm seeing, I think her handle is sister-in-law, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But she's doing a whole lot of work trying to educate people on what a prenup is and et cetera, benefits of it. And so anyway, what are the benefits? Why should somebody get a prenup and not community or property? Or what are the pros and cons on either side? Let's not force children to do one thing.
I think, hey, this is my wife's area, so I'm like, I need to carefully watch my words.
Yeah.
So maybe let me talk from the perspective of my wife and I.
Sure.
And why we signed an antenuptial contract. I think for us, we certainly, it's not about going into the marriage with an exit plan. Or with a plan B, or I must leave with my things, or whatever the case may be. I think the approach is really from a commercial perspective.
Sure.
It's about protecting assets. It's about how do we protect ourselves in case something horrible were to happen. So let's say, for example, I became bankrupt or I did something stupid and someone sues me. Because if we married in community of property, they come after everything, right? They sue. We are jointly and severally liable. So too, we, whereas if we do this thing where we sign an ANC, then, we separate and we protect the assets in that way. It doesn't have to be someone suing you. It can be, if I want to buy my wife a car, if we married in community of property, Shem, there goes the surprise. No, I'm kidding. That's not why we did it, but
I think that's the motivation, comrades.
But I think more than anything, it can be an administrative nightmare.
Yeah.
When you are married in community of property.
Sure.
I think there's just so much admin to it. And the reason why a lot of people do it is to avoid that admin, to protect your assets. And it just seems like the smarter way to do things.
Yeah.
Because, in the ANC, you can also agree on how, if it came to it, because when you're married in community of property, and sure it's 50-50.
Yeah.
If we ever parted ways, right?
Yes.
So if you want that 50-50-ness, right, there's ways that you could decide or determine how the estate could be distributed if you guys were to ever separate. But, there's no point of going into that because you're not doing it to try and get a 50-50 when we separate. But I think that the main reason is really just around protecting your assets. It's not because you're planning on a divorce. There's obviously lots of different takes on this, even from a religious perspective. There's an argument just around the oneness. What are you saying about being one? So there are all those arguments, and I think people must do what they're comfortable with. But I certainly think if you're not doing it because you think it means that you're going into the marriage with the end in sight, then that's not the reason not to do it. But if you really are trying to make sure that you don't find yourselves in a difficult situation one day, and that your assets are protected, then that is one way of doing it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. And I think of couples who will most likely be entrepreneurs and run businesses.
Yeah. There's so much risk attached to that.
So much risk, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So I don't think, man, a lot of us have a clear understanding. So even when guys do marriage prep, by the time you get to the legal parts, it's like, we'll spend so much time on everything else.
Yeah.
And then there it's like, just sign this thing and be done, and it's like, okay, that's fine. And we take that at face value.
Yeah.
And then life happens. We, find ourselves in different spaces. Again, maybe it's a business or whatever the other thing is. And then it's only then. I literally heard about this the first time when the Utebe, the Kwaito star, Tim and his wife were married in community of property, and then they were like, we realized that things might, be a bit sketchy if one of us
were to leave.
Yeah, or rather files for bankruptcy or whatever the case is, or like what you're saying, I get sued or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they went through the process of changing it. But that was hard.
Yeah.
That's the process of changing was hard as well, So, and then another story I heard is this dude who was like to his wife, married in community property, he has a business. And then it's like, let's change to protect the assets of the business, whatever. And then they, there's a route you could take, but then there's divorce, where you divorce each other and then kind of remarry. But that's not allowed anymore now.
Which is just unnecessary. That's that's extra.
So anyway, they divorced.
Yeah.
And the dude was like,
and they got married again.
No, he was like, sharp.
Oh, hectic.
He was like, Avele, good shot.
Sure.
This is what I was waiting for.
Oh, hectic.
So they essentially scammed him.
Yeah.
And they divorced, you
Sure.
know? And then he was like, all right, done. I'm out. But anyway, so Tebe said they changed, and then they had an ANC. Yeah.
Contract.
So I was like, that's the first time I was like, yeah. So I'm like, a lot of us don't have information. So I'm trying to get sister-in-law. Maybe I could get your wife.
Yeah,
and she can come and pack this thing for us.
Yeah. Chat to my wife. This is her space. This is what she does every day.
Yeah.
She drafts a lot of those.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's cool, man. And lastly, you guys did a conference, seminar, workshop, gathering, e-hubbies.
Oh yeah.
Just husbands coming together. How was that? What's the vision behind that?
So this is something, that I spoke to Umfundisi about. It's I think I've just always had a heart for husbands, a heart for marriage, but more than anything, I've always just felt that, as husbands, we don't really have spaces where we really just talk about things. When we come together as amajita, we come together, we watching football, we watching rugby, we talking about work, we talk about a lot of things, right? But it's very seldom we really will get into a conversation about marriage, about being a husband, about what are some of the challenges that you're struggling with as a husband. What are the things that you're dealing with? How are you coping with the pressure? How are you handling that? So we don't really have a lot of conversations around that and what it means to be a husband, and so this is something that's just it's always like bothered me, if I can put it that way. And I started something with my friends where I drew up a schedule. It's like in February we are at Tom's house. In April we are going to Max. Those aren't their names, by the way. Sure. And and the idea behind that was, when we meet on those occasions, it's really specifically to check in and, talk about how we are doing as husbands, as, fathers, and, so that, so I tried to do that with my friends, and that's where I think the idea was birthed, just having something aimed specifically at husbands. And I think one day, just during my prayer time, I felt like God was just kind of saying to me that thing that I planted inside of you around husbands, that needs to be a ministry, right? That needs to be something that's done, a ministry in a church space where there's something focused solely on husbands, where they come together and, really hoping it can be a community of husbands, that it can grow into something that is beyond our imagination. But it really is just focused on getting husbands together, trying to be better husbands. Through conversation, through just community. So we're just trying to build a husband community for husbands, by husbands, so that we can be better husbands for our wives. And what I said to the guys when we had our first meeting was, what I would love is, after every time we meet, our wives must see a difference. So that when we ask for a visa, Yoguti siya to this thing, our wives must be like,
please,
go.
They should be asking, when's the next one?
Like our wives must be like contacting Umfundisi to be like, Umfundisi, like, when are these husbands meeting again? So that was really the thinking behind it. And, Umfundisi supported the vision, and, he agreed that this is amazing. It's something that would absolutely benefit husbands. And let's just see where it goes, where we can take it. And, I think it's, it's very similar to what you're trying to achieve over here. We just really are a bunch of husbands trying to be better husbands, and wanting a space where we can encourage each other, where we can pray for each other, where we can say like, hey, gents, like, I'm struggling with this, or, we want to create that kind of space, or like, hey, gents, no sbanibani emsebenzini ngathi uzongibhayizisa, like we wanted to get to that kind of level, where we can hold you and, be accountable. And who is telling me this story? Or is it your story? Oh, no. I saw it on one of the podcasts where you were talking about how like the gents even went to the hotel to fetch the one guy. Yeah. So that kind of community for husbands. Yeah.
Man, that's dope, bro. Now, shout outs to that, man. Pray that it really grows, and it does, set a flame, man.
Yeah,
and we do see the change. So every time you guys meet, we do see the change.
Yeah.
That's what we pray for. That's what we hope for here. That every husband who gets a hold of this content, their wives, their children will see a visible change. In fact, I met somebody yesterday. I was preaching at another church, and then after I preached, they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you came because in Feb, that same church invited me to come do a talk around Valentine's." And so she was like, "I couldn't speak to you then, but my ex watches your podcast religiously. We couldn't work out. But I'm glad that he watches your podcast because I'm just seeing the difference. That your podcast has made for him and the future wife he's gonna have. And so I was like, man, that's dope.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's why we do this thing. That's why we want to continue doing it. So when I saw you guys' thing, I was like, man, this is fire. This is dope, man, And we need more husbands to wake up and just own this call. Own it, man. You're going to be a husband till Jesus calls you back.
And like nobody's going to teach us how to do it.
No.
Nobody's going to show us how to do it. We often talk a lot about how for many of us, we were not really taught to be good husbands, so we don't have that like example of what it means to be a good husband. Even like even if we've had dads who've been present. I think fathering and husbanding back then was different. You came from where certain husbands would be away for very long periods of time, and so it was different, right? So if we're gonna learn and really be the kind of husbands that our wives need right now for this time, we only have each other. I've learned a lot from my friends just in terms of how they are husbands, so I use them as kind of my examples for what it is that I must do and what I shouldn't do.
That's good, man. Sbu, thanks, brother.
Awesome, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the work that you're doing online, and just the encouragement that you give people. Your content is positive, wholesome, pushes us forward.
No, thank you, man.
So I appreciate that, man. And thank you for being a husband who wants to show up. A father who's presently doing healthy things with his kids. And wanting to just change this country from the home. There's many things we could be doing outside the home, but I think the best way to change any space is to start at home, because that's where kids believe, that's where they dream, that's where they understand, and equally that's where they could be broken, and they could be turned into monsters that affect society in ways that are detrimental, so shout outs to you, man.
No, fantastic, man. Thank you so much. Awesome conversation, really enjoyed it, and Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
And please thank your wife for us.
No, I will.
Thank
I
your
will.
wife for us,
I'll
man.
thank her. Yeah.
And thank Imi and Rory as well.
I'll tell them Uncle Black says shout out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Dope, man. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been such an incredible chat. I definitely want to pick up the thing on the, marriage contracts, and we should have an episode for that. But I think more than anything, just the inspiration that came out of this, of us being present and in fact us, just loving our wives and our kids in ways that no one else can. God has put that call on us, and we should be showing up for them, and being there. There's a lot that we touched on. Would be very keen to hear your thoughts. Please do leave your comments, and if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you're updated on every episode we drop. Every Wednesday at 11:30, we right here. From me and the lady in the room. We'll see you next week Wednesday. Peace.